Welcome back, dear listeners, to the deepening nightmare of Bram Stoker's Dracula. After the alliance began to form in the previous chapter, we now continue with Chapter 16, Dr. Seward's Diary, continued. This is one of the most shocking and pivotal chapters in the novel. Through my own eyes as a man of science, you will witness the undeniable proof of the undead, the horrifying transformation of our beloved Lucy, and the merciful yet terrible act required to set her soul free. Let us return once more to the silent tomb in Kingstead Cemetery, where the boundary between life and death has been violently breached. 29 September, morning. I write these lines with a mind still reeling from the events of last night. Professor Van Helsing had promised to show us proof that would convince even the most skeptical among us. He was true to his word, though I wish with all my heart that he had been wrong. Just before midnight, Professor Van Helsing, Lord Godalming, Arthur, Quincy P. Morris and I climbed the low wall into the churchyard and made our way to the Westenra family vault. The moon was bright, casting long shadows among the tombs. Van Helsing turned to me and asked solemnly, "You were with me here yesterday. Was the body of Miss Lucy in that coffin?" I answered truthfully that it was. With steady hands, the professor unscrewed the leaden lid of the casket. We all leaned forward and recoiled in shock. The coffin was empty. Arthur gasped. Quincy Morris looked ready to fight someone, suspecting a cruel joke, but Van Helsing's face remained grave. He explained that 2 nights earlier he and I had seen the same emptiness. He had then sealed the tomb with garlic to prevent the undead from leaving. Last night he deliberately removed those barriers so that we might all witness the truth with our own eyes. To prevent the creature from re-entering later, he crumbled a sacred communion wafer into putty and pressed the mixture around the cracks around the door of the vault, creating an unbreakable barrier against the vampire. "Come to me, Arthur," she whispered in a voice both sweet and terrible. "Leave these others and come to me. My arms are hungry for you. Come, and we can rest together. Come, my husband." Arthur stepped forward as if in a trance, his face torn between love and horror. Van Helsing sprang between them, holding up a small golden crucifix. The vampire Lucy recoiled with a hiss, her face twisting into a mask of rage and hatred. Her eyes blazed red. Van Helsing quickly removed the sacred wafers from the tomb door. The creature slipped inside like mist, vanishing into the vault. We heard the soft sound of the coffin lid settling back into place. 30 September. The following night we returned, armed with the terrible knowledge of what we must do. Van Helsing had brought his bag of tools, a sharp wooden stake, a heavy hammer, surgical knives, garlic, and sacred wafers. He explained once more the mercy we were about to grant. "This is not our Lucy. The sweet soul we loved has been trapped inside this foul thing. By driving the stake through her heart, we release her true self to eternal peace and prevent her from preying upon more innocent children." He asked Arthur, the man who had loved Lucy most and was to have been her husband, to perform the act himself. Arthur hesitated, pale and trembling, but finally agreed. "For her sake," he said, "I will do what must be done." We opened the coffin once more. There lay the vampire, beautiful in a voluptuous, evil way, with red lips and flushed cheeks. Arthur placed the point of the stake over her heart. Then, with all his strength, he struck. A terrible shriek tore through the vault, not human, yet horribly alive. The body writhed and twisted in wild contortions. Blood spurted from the wound. The lips drew back from the sharp teeth in a snarl, and a crimson foam bubbled at the mouth. The eyes glared with hellish hatred. Arthur never faltered. He struck again and again until the writhing ceased. Slowly, the monstrous expression faded. The face softened. The true Lucy returned, peaceful, pure, and at rest, as she had looked in life before the corruption took her. We all wept. Arthur, exhausted, had to be supported by Quincy Morris as he left the tomb. Van Helsing and I completed the rite. We cut off the head, filled the mouth with garlic, and sealed the coffin once more. The soul of Lucy Westenra was finally free.
Later reflections. I sit now in my study, writing these words with a hand that still trembles. My scientific mind reels at what I have seen and done, yet I cannot deny the evidence of my own eyes. The creature we destroyed was not Lucy. It was a demon wearing her form. By our act, we have saved her soul and protected the living children she would have preyed upon. Van Helsing reminds us that this was only one vampire, the weakest, newly made. The true master, Count Dracula, who created her, still walks free in London, cunning and powerful. Our band is now bound tighter than ever by shared horror and sacred duty. Mina and Jonathan Harker bring crucial knowledge from Transylvania. We will find the Count's boxes of earth. We will hunt him down. For Lucy's sake, and for all who may yet fall victim, we will not rest until the evil is utterly destroyed. That was Chapter 16 of Dracula, a chapter of shocking revelation and merciful destruction. Through Dr. Seward's diary, we witnessed the empty tomb, the seductive horror of the vampire Lucy, and the heartbreaking yet necessary staking that finally granted her peace. Bram Stoker forces us to confront the duality of the vampire, beauty twisted into something unclean and dangerous. The scene in the tomb is one of the most powerful and disturbing in Gothic literature, blending revulsion, pity, and sacred duty. The hunters have taken their first decisive action against the forces of the undead, but the greatest battle still lies ahead. Stay with Chapter 17, where the records are shared, plans are made, and the full campaign against Count Dracula begins in earnest. Thank you for enduring this terrible yet necessary night in the cemetery with Dr. Seward and the others. If this chapter left you shaken or moved by its tragic mercy, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another entry from these journals. Lucy is at peace at last, but the Count still hungers. Until next time, may the dead remain dead, and may your courage never falter in the face of darkness.